the supervising producer approached me in January of this year and started to tell me a little bit about Full Metal Challenge. And I have to admit that the thought of cars riding around did not inspire me at all. And I was completely, at first, not interested. And then he kept getting on and on at me, come and meet Kathy, you'll love the show. And indeed, I came to meet Kathy Rogers, producer and presenter of the show. Fell completely in love with her because she's such a charming and wonderful lady. When she described the programme to me, I knew I absolutely had to direct it because there's been nothing else like it ever. And the whole scale and emotion of the programme was just something I wanted to do. So from then on, I was on board. When we sat down in the planning stages of the show, I realised how massive the games were. So something like Metropolis is huge, size of 3 football pitches at least. So to cover it all, I've made sure I've got 3 cranes. That's a super 50-foot massive Technocrane, jib, regular Technocrane. There's a super slow-mo. I've got 8 very big lenses, 3 handheld cameras, tracking cameras, and inside every car I've made sure we've got 2 cameras in each car. One gives me an over-the-shoulder point of view, so as a car is racing through the water or driving across the teeter-totter or heading towards the skittles, I have got absolutely the point of view of that driver, and those shots are spectacular, absolutely brilliant. So we're very well covered. No. I mean, it's big. I've got a very good choice of cameras and very large number of them. But on some of the big music events that we do, then can have up to 21 cameras that are coming in live. I mean, on this show, I've got 15 cameras coming in live, and then there's another 6. So that is 21, but I don't have them all coming into the truck. But it's a fantastic spectrum of cameras and views. And the thing with being a director on a show like this is that I just get such a great insight into everybody taking part in the show, because I've got an amazing close-up of every driver and of the teammates, and I really get to see the emotion of the teammates watching their driver hurtling around the roller coaster, and it's very emotional because if they get concerned or anxious or excited or angry, I'm right in their faces. I'm really in touch with what they're feeling. So it's quite, it's very moving. It's a very moving show to do. There have been some hairy moments. We've had very enthusiastic drivers who. One of our drivers went flying around the roller coaster and took off and against the far wall, and my immediate reaction was horror for him, anxiety for him, shock for my cameraman who was right in front of the car. As the car went flying off, it was heading towards one of my cameramen. So you're instantly thinking, is the driver okay? Is my cameraman okay? How can we get him out? And at the same time we have to keep filming to make sure everything's done properly, so it feels so strange because your natural instinct would be to turn every camera off, but actually we have to keep filming to make sure that everything is done by the book and every safety aspect is covered, which it is. And at the same time, luckily I get to see pretty much first if the guy's okay, because I can see him waving before everyone gets there. But it was frightening, but he was perfectly safe and perfectly all right, and they came out and won that heat, so good for them. All the teams have had something great going for them, whether it's their humour or their vehicle or their driving, but certainly the spectacular drivers most of them have come out on top, and here they are, they're all in the final. One team I was really sad to see go were the American Law Dogs, who were just really good-spirited about the whole thing. I mean, everyone's been good about it, but they were particularly good-spirited, and they basically lost before the third game. So they came to the third game knowing they had lost. The third game was Metropolis, and by golly did they go for it. They were fantastic. They just drove to entertain, and they drove spectacularly well. They knew they'd lost, and there was no tears. They drove fantastically, so really hats off to them. The thing I've enjoyed most about doing the show is definitely the camaraderie of the team down here, as in behind the scenes. I mean, obviously watching all the teams taking part is fantastic, but all the people behind the scenes, and I'm not just talking about the television side of it, because obviously we're all here, we all know each other, but watching all the engineers, watching all the people making the games, it's just such a fantastic crowd of people who 100% want to make it work. And it's not people working in their own little world and only doing that. If you've got something going wrong with a car that possibly one of the companies we work with, who work all the time in steel, they will come and help with the cars. I mean, it's not my job, or it's more than my job's worth. So it's been, and right down to the safety people, the security guys have been fantastic, and everyone has been 150% behind the project, and it makes it an absolute joy to work on.